Okay.
That's why you will find out that overseas in developed countries, in fact, I remember the last time I was in a store in the UK, I picked up something and even though it bore the name of the store, at the bottom was written, this is a produce of XYZ farms. I'm looking forward to a time in this country where when you pick up something, you know where it comes from. There is no traceability. And that's the problem with eating. So most times you eat, you don't know what you're eating. It could be foodless food.
You're right.
Because right now we have a lot of
100.
We have a lot of fake goods in the market. now compare that to food crops that are in the market, like you're saying now, because from what you're saying,
because we can identify.
From what she's saying now, it is that a lot of people would be using synthetic. But I trust Nigerians who like to go the very fast
way.
Do you understand? Like you're saying, it will take me 2 weeks for an organic fertilizer. Sorry, for a fertilizer to actually go organically on the farm produce, and it takes me 2 weeks. So I have to be patient for 2 weeks. When somebody that uses a synthetic fertilizer can use this for, let's say, I don't know how long, maybe say 4 or 5 days. So obviously I know people because we are Nigerians. A lot of
the easy way.
So how can you preach safety?
Yes, for us that can't really identify.
With the end users.
Yes.
I will still go back to what I said. It's difficult to tell.
Hey, blood of Jesus.
It is only when you know your farmer. I'll tell you, when I first started, I didn't have anybody. Of course, I had started organic farming because of my late mom, who had cancer at the age of 72, and it was traced back to the food she ate. So I thought, you know what, the little I could give back is start an organic farm. And we started the organic farm. Do you know that we were taking our stuff, our harvest, to a man in a market, because I didn't know where to take them to. And the man would say, I beg, madam, that lettuce you bring last week, bring and come. I say, why? Because all my customers who buy they like and they call me back that they want that particular one. Make I not give them another one. I then said, you know what? That's not my market. My market is not where they would not know that this is my produce. I can't put in all that effort and then my market is not traceable to the fact that this is Okwe Farms.
Yeah.
And that was how I got a little place, put an umbrella, and I sit there and say, I'm selling organic produce. They say, oh, what is it about? Start educating people. And that was how I got my customers. Then they started saying, why don't you supply us at home? I said, oh, well and good, I will. And today we even have our own store. And then we have people we supply at home. So we need many more people to be truthful about what they do. While an organic farmer can tell you this is a produce of Okwe Farms, most times a conventional farmer cannot readily tell you that.
Because this is very important, because we have a lot of things that we take into our systems.
Yes.
That is really, really, really terrible.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Nutrition is at zero level.
And the fact that we cannot tell, we can't state the difference.
Yes.
It's even doing more harm than good to us.
Yeah. One of my customers said the last time she had a medical test, they traced the particular chemical
Wow.
that she was consuming in the food she ate the most.
Wow.
From her tests. So let's say, I don't want to mention names of this chemical, but let's say a particular chemical is used constantly in, let's say, growing cucumbers, and cucumber is her favorite food.
I have a lot of cucumbers though.
No, don't get I just used it as an example.
Okay. Let's go continue.
So they traced the particular active ingredient in the chemical that was being used for it in her blood system. And that was how she had to start managing her nutrition and start watching what she was eating. Yeah.
Talking about fertilization, what would you say are the negative effects of over fertilization?
Well, I suspect that for those who use the synthetic ones, it would be dangerous. Because I'm on so many WhatsApp groups of farmers and I see them say things like 15, 15, 10, 10, something like that. And I'm hearing conversations like, oh no, that would be too much. But I also know that when you take your greens, let's say you take any of the vegetables and you rinse it, if it's with synthetic fertilizer, the water is usually very green.
If it's with
Synthetic fertilizer,
Are you
and
guys
you
Water
wash
is
it.
green.
Are you guys listening?
The water is usually green. That green is the extra nitrogen that is coming out of
So
it.
that's the excess.
Yes, that's the excess. But when it's organically grown, you're likely just going to have like lightly brown water, which is like from the
Dirt.
soil, the dirt, the handling.
Wow.
Okay, so now let's.
So
No, okay, finish, ma'am.
in organic, it is rarely, it's almost rare for you to have over fertilization because the soil takes as it needs. So I could put something like bone meal in my soil. Bone meal is probably, sometimes people use eggshell. Some people turn eggshell to powder, and it's calcium to your soil. If you put it in your soil,
The soil needs calcium too.
oh yes, we put almost anything natural you can put back in your soil to fertilize it. But we tend to use bone meal. Number one, I went through a phase in my life where I was collecting eggshells from bakeries and all. But because most chickens are raised with so much antibiotics and all, I had to stop doing that. So I prefer to use bone meal. So we dry it, we heat it up and turn it to powder, and we use it in our soil. It's as it's needed. You know, it's like when you set up a drip for a human being, you can actually regulate it.
Yes,
So
you can.
that's what the natural or the organic will give you. But I guess the synthetic is used to, get it kind of thing. So it could have definitely could have some side
In our
effects.
society, we do have a lot of people, a lot of farmers that use it's the truth.
The truth,
The
yeah.
old,
It's the truth.
synthetic
You're
and
right.
the chemicals
You're
and
right.
all. Okay,
You're
so for
right.
we that we take them in because we can't state the difference. What would you advise that we individuals do even after eating what we are not supposed to eat?
Well, one of the things that most nutritionists, I had to start studying nutrition because I have so many customers when they ask me those questions. It's difficult to tell them I'm not a nutritionist because I know I'm on the right path with what I'm supplying them. So one of the key things is to detox the body from time to time.
Okay.
Just have a detox. It could be maybe water for the next 3 days. It could be maybe vegetable drink from a source that you know, because there's no point piling the body.
And you trust. It's not just knowing, trust them.
There's no point trying to detox your body, and then you're detoxing it even with more chemicals in it.
You're right.
So detoxification is good.
My very final question is me. I'm off to even if I had your spices the last time and I'm asking for it.
We're producing. They said they're going to process some on Saturday. That's why I couldn't bring it for you.
Because somebody was really asking about it.
Yeah.
So my second question still goes to the bodies, the regulatory bodies. Oh, she's doing a thing. because it's actually some weeks last year, late last year or early this year, there were a lot of this whole NAFDAC people going into
fake original.
Fake drinks. A lot of people were not coming out to tell you this brand was this, this brand was this brand was, it put a lot of scare. And before we could say Jack, we're already past it. Everybody's back to normal. Yeah. As usual in Nigeria. That's Stockholm syndrome. Everybody's back to normal. The people now that were producing this thing are probably gone back to
what
the whole thing.
Doing.
So,
you're right.
what advice do you have for should I say the government, regulatory bodies that?
Or what
that
do you
can
want
help?
them to do?
Because the food crops itself. Let's even forget processed food. A lot of people, I try as much as possible to stay away from processed foods, like sausages and all of that whole thing. But these food crops you're talking about, these farm produce are natural. They are the roots.
Yeah.
We cannot do away with it.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for regulatory bodies? What can really be done from your own perspective?
Let me shock you. Nigeria has no organic farming policy.
Wow.
Maybe now they're working on it, but we do not have one. We have an NGO, that's the Association of Organic Practitioners of Nigeria. They have taken it upon themselves to market organic, to advocate, to let people know, that this thing is doable. For instance, a place like France. I was in Switzerland in September last year, and it was the first time. In fact, when my hostess offered me cereal, I said, no, I don't take any of those. She said, this is organic. I almost fell off my seat.
I just did that.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
That's what they eat in Geneva. Organic cereal. So you're seeing all these fruit and nuts and you're seeing the logo right on it to tell you that this is organic cereal. If I lived in that kind of country, I'll eat cereal every day. But really, Nigeria has to become intentional about it.
I think that's
why is it that all our products fail? Now we can't export our beans, we can't export this, we can't export that. Because it is now that those foods are going abroad that we the locals, are now realizing that we're eating rubbish. Because those ones going abroad must be tested.
Yes.
If they're not tested here, or if they bribe their way out of here, they're not going to bribe their way out of there.
Over there.
They will not get away with it. So the government has to be intentional. We were at the organic conference in India when their minister said, organic farmers, we apologize publicly to you because we always support conventional farmers. Every time you see them giving out free fertilizer, you will never hear them give out free organic fertilizer. We're in a country where you still you're your own government. I repair the road to my farm. I have no electricity. I run on generators.
True that.
How will food be cheap? Right now, workers are asking for double their salary last year because they too go to the market. They pay school fees and all of that. So I look forward to a time when Nigeria will say, we want to support organic. Who are the organic farmers? Our farm was certified as organic. You have to certify every year. That's as strict as they are with us. We got our certification. That's NOAN. That's a body called NOAN, the NGO. So they will come to your farm, they verify. I'm telling you, when they came, the person who came to verify was already talking to my workers before he spoke with me.
Sorry,
with my workers
are these Nigerians?
Yes, Nigerians, because NOAN is a Nigerian NGO.
Yes. Oh.
Yes. He was already talking to my farm hands. Show me which chemical they use here. Then the person looked at chemical. No, we don't get. Said, go and bring me the bottle. Said, we know they use them. Even this me, I've never seen some of these things other than when I walk past. So the government needs, they need to carve out. When they are sick, they can go abroad. Yeah. Where the first thing they do is pump out all the chemicals out of their bodies. But right from here, even children are having problems. Do you know that we have customers whose children have autism? I'm telling you, they tell us that when they eat organic, there's a difference. Wow. I had a sister-in-law, who was given 2 weeks to live from her cancer stage 4. I brought in a particular person, a herbal practitioner, who was using things from our farm for her. She lived another 7 months. It is not rocket science. There are farmers who they don't eat what they sell because what they eat is at the back of their house.
You're right.
And it doesn't have chemicals. So why can't Nigeria carve out, even let's say 30% support? People are always telling me, go and apply for grants. I say, at my age, who gives grants to me? They would rather give grants to 18 to 35.
Yeah, young people.
Young people. In Kenya, we met a lady who spoke with us. She says in Kenya, it's the private companies who support organic farmers. Said, go and look for the likes of Toyota, all these big companies. They support organic farmers because that's what they want to eat. They know that that's the real food.
You're right.
So the government just needs to be intentional, and I don't think we're serious in Nigeria about it.